Leaders of Tomorrow, eating our special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Here's what we have lined up on the show for you tonight. On our Insight segment, a conversation with Ideal Insurance. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring Value Shoppe and ID Fresh. Now, even as the online insurance space is getting more crowded, I caught up with the founder of Ideal Insurance on how innovation can go hand in hand with competition and what lessons you, the MSME entrepreneur, can take away from this conversation that I had earlier. Take a look. Let's start by talking to you about what led to the setting up of Ideal Insurance.
So there's quite a story behind it. Actually, when I was in college, I wanted to go abroad for my MBA. So I thought, let me have some work experience. So during college, you wouldn't get a job anywhere. So that was the year 2001 when this private insurance companies had come to India. So I actually became an agent in one of these companies called Max New York Life. I did very well there, and they sent me to America to represent the company. I actually became the youngest MDRT for the company. So then post my graduation, I did my MBA from SPJN, and after that I wanted to start a company of my own. I didn't want to get into my family business, and I found insurance had a great potential. You know, it's still there was a huge lack of awareness that time. It's even now, and broking again was a new opportunity. Insurance broking started in India barely in 2003, and so that's how I got into this business, because I could see a lot of potential in the insurance industry.
Let's talk about the insurance audit market here in India that you have for startups and how it really works. You know, sort of just break it down for our viewers.
So actually, I am an angel investor myself. So since I am in the ecosystem, I interact with a lot of startups. So of late, we noticed that a lot of startups had started approaching us for insurance. So what we realized was, now most of the startups, they are into innovative business, right, which are quite disruptive, but at the same time the risk involved is also more. So they came with requirements of very innovative kind of product which were not available over the counter in the industry. So that's why we realized that there's a huge potential, for us to help the startups cope up with this risk management, right? So we created this vertical to help the startups understand what kind of risks are there involved, which are involved in their business, and how they can mitigate those risks with the help of insurance.
Do you develop the technology entirely in-house, Rahul? If yes, how does a startup innovate, and what should they keep in mind about such innovation?
I mean, what we see in India, there are very, very few actually innovative startups. You know, most of the startups are ideas which are copied from abroad. I think the best way of innovation is to find out the pain points in today's market, right? Whichever industry you are in, you'll find that the customers are facing a lot of problems. So just addressing those problems will lead you to innovation. And innovation is not necessarily in technology only. It can be innovation in process. It can be innovation in strategy. For example, in our industry, I think insurance is one of the most competitive industry in the world. We personally are not very strong in technology. In fact, we have outsourced our technology to a technology incubation company. But now we are working more on innovation in products. Right, India is still a developing insurance market, and there are a lot of products which are not available in the country. So we are trying to develop new products for the masses. But for startups, I would say you have to start from understanding what the customer needs, and accordingly create a product which will address those pain points. For example, I mean, let's say this food delivery companies, right? So getting food delivered to your doorstep, it's been a long-standing problem. There have been a lot of companies, but how maybe a Swiggy has been able to come up the charts because they have been able to make the process very strong, where other companies have failed, right? So that's how, I mean, addressing the pain point of the customer is the best way to innovate.
Rahul, speaking of innovation, then why do we not see more innovation in the field of insurance, especially in the Indian market? What's your opinion, and what possibly could change that?
So it's not that innovation is not happening, but yes, the pace of innovation is slow in India right now. But because there's a bigger problem of awareness, right? If you ask me, insurance is still a very nascent industry, and the awareness, the penetration is very low. And I'm sure once the awareness increases, innovation will follow. At the same time now, since the government has increased the FDI limit in the insurance industry, innovation is bound to happen with more international companies and money pouring in the country. So innovation is bound to happen. It's already happening from the last 2 years. And in the next 5-10 years, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of innovation in the insurance industry.
Rahul, insurance and online insurance in particular is becoming a very competitive market. If you were to talk to our viewers about how they should possibly go out standing out in such a market, based on your own experience, what would it be?
Our innovative focus is more on, focusing on niche products where there's lack of awareness in the country. Coming to the online market, I don't think it's still very developed yet, right? There are very few players and who are also burning huge amount of money. I think the market is not ripe for online insurance in India. You can maybe generate a lot of referrals online, but still closing happens offline. So people go online, do their comparison, and then they call their agent or intermediary to buy that insurance. Having said that, we are also launching our online portal very soon by the name of one-to-one-policy.com, and there we are focusing. So our again focus is primarily on health insurance, not on other insurance like motor insurance or term insurance, which are probably low-hanging fruits for other companies. So why health insurance? Because that is one area where again there's a huge demand and there's a lack of proper knowledge amongst the masses. So we want to be seen as a niche player in online health insurance. But going ahead, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, yes, online insurance is something which is going to be big.
Rahul, your tips for our viewers in building a niche in whatever industry they may be in, you of course have experience in insurance, but if you can talk to them about how you go about building such a niche.
So that I'll have to go back to Kotler, which I read probably 10, 11 years back, right? So you have to differentiate. If you really want to make good money and build a sustainable company, you have to differentiate. If you're doing what everyone is doing, you can never be the #1 player in the market, right? And differentiation starts from understanding what is not available in the market today, right? What more you can do from the compared to the competitors. Just by studying your consumer, just by studying your competitors, you can actually find a niche to play upon. So my advice is always to differentiate yourself and try to give more value addition to consumers. India is a very price sensitive market, but yes, even if still if you are able to provide some more value add to the consumer, you can create a great brand loyalty.
I understand that you also invest in companies, wearing the hat now of an investor in companies. What would your advice be for our viewers in terms of what you as an investor are possibly looking out for when you're looking at investing in a company?
I first look at the promoter, right? What is the passion and what drives the promoter? Is it only money, or is it, he's genuinely interested in building a company or a product? Then the next is his idea, whether the idea is scalable, whether it is profitable. So of course, and third is the team, right? What kind of a team is backing him? So these are my three priorities which I look at while investing in a company.
Rahul, you wear many hats. I understand you're also the ED of the Business Network International, which is involved in business networking, referrals, word of mouth marketing. How important are each of these, and what are some of the common mistakes that you see companies doing? And therefore, based on that, what advice would you have for the entrepreneurs who are watching the show?
So first, let's come to networking, right? Networking and relationship management. You pick up any business owner across the world, across industry, across any level of business, and you ask them one key skill a business owner needs is networking and relationship management, right? Because most of the business happens on even today on a golf course or on a coffee table. So networking is very crucial. Unfortunately, this most important tool is never taught in our schools or B schools, but networking and relationship management are the most crucial areas. Next is referrals. Again, in India is a very social country, it's a very emotional country, right? So compared to other Western countries, people work on contacts knowing each other. So they love to refer each other. Even you ask anyone you want to buy a phone, you will ask, which phone to buy, and you will prefer a known vendor, a shop which your friend owns or someone. So referral marketing is very, very strong in India. In fact, I come across people, and normally the answer I get is people get almost 60 to 90% of their business through referrals. So referral is working, and if you see the growth of BNI in India, now BNI has almost 15,000 members with 300 chapters, and they are growing almost like 100% in the last 2 to 3 years, which proves the importance of referral marketing. And finally, marketing, who can do away without marketing? I mean, so when you are so there are two ways of growing, right? One, you need to have a good product, and you need to market your product. If you have a good product and you're not marketing it, people will not come to know and you'll fail. Or if you have a bad product but you're still marketing it, you'll still fail. So good product and marketing are something which goes hand in hand and unavoidable.
Given your own personal experience, one piece of advice for our entrepreneurs that you would have, Rahul?
So I see a lot, there's a mad rush now to just raise money, right? The entrepreneurs are not focusing on building a product or a company, creating a team, making the fundamentals of the company strong. The entire focus is how do I raise more money. So I think people have to come out of that mad rush and focus on their company and their product. If the product is good, if the team is good, money will follow. So that's what my piece of 2 pence.
Let's take a break.